So when you practice Trataka, especially the internal Trataka, then you slowly develop the inner eye. You activate your inner eye, physical and subtle dimensions. So on neurological basis, occipital cortex and visual memory, we have these two, parts. External eyes are when you close your external eyes, then visual processing does not stop. Your visual processing or brain is still active. Instead, the occipital lobe continues to register impressions from memory. We have occipital lobe that continues to register impressions from where? From memory, imagination, and subtle perceptions. Our memory has also images. Imagination also create images, and subtle perceptions, what Buddha calls sanya. So these are the factors to create the visuals even with closed eyes. And this forms the internal visual field, which Trataka Sadhaka consciously explore. So after images of objects, when you close your eyes after gazing on external wall or external thing, when you close your eyes, then they remain briefly visible due to phosphine activity. This is called. Over time, trained practitioners can intentionally sustain and refine these impressions. I will explain to you. Buddha had advised in meditation technique that Yatha diva tatha ratting, tatha diva. This is the sutra Buddha has mentioned. Yatha diva tatha ratting means when you observe the light during the daytime, you see the light and you try to recall the same light with closed eyes. Buddha calls it that when you close your eyes, then you have to recall the same light, what you observe during the day. During the night also, you observe the same light. Now, the modern time has been developed a lot, so you don't find so much difference between day and night because of light, right? During the day also, you are inside the house and you use more this light, artificial light, not the natural light. And during the night also, so you don't see difference between day and night when you are using external light. But in old age, there was no electricity. Then people used to use only the lamps or such things, right, during the night. But during that ancient time, Buddha had advised that you have to meditate during the night also. And in the night also, when you meditate, then you recall the same daylight, what you had experienced during the daytime, in the night also. And slowly you cultivate that light. Slowly you activate that inner light. External light stimulates your inner light. Although you have immense light in your mind. Actually, there are two things. One is brain and another is mind. Occipital lobe in your brain. This is the part of cerebral cortex. So that visualizes. So visuals come from that lobe of the brain. And still you have power to visualize. But mind is different than the brain. Mind is different than the brain. Mind creates anything out of nothing. Mind has such a power that can create anything out of nothing.
So what you mean is the brain has all the memories and informations, but the mind is beyond the brain. It's because it could precede other information. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. And especially during the dream, when you are dreaming, when you are sleeping, then you see everything very clearly. You have light, so much light. During dream, you remain in day. You remain with lots of people. Everything is real as with opened eyes. So that light comes from where? That light comes from your mind.
What about all the limitations? For example, the beliefs and the limitations, does that come from the mind or the brain?
Everything comes from mind, not only brain. But mind uses the corresponding part of the brain.
I see.
Yeah. So if your mind wants to visualize, then there is a specific part of your brain which is used, not the cerebellum, or not the pons, not the hippocampus. So it takes content from hippocampus also, because hippocampus is the storehouse of memories. So it goes there and it takes some content from there also. And it has all the memories stored since your many past lives.
So that then is the mind, we were talking about the Tathagata Garba. Is the mind relates to the Tathagata Garba, or the mind more relates to ego, the individuality?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Actually, this is very interesting, Tathagat Garbha is the womb of Tathata. Garbha means womb. Tathagat means the one who had become Buddha, who has become enlightened one. Enlightened one is someone who is beyond everything. Tathagata is one who goes beyond all the levels of consciousness, what you can think as the ultimate level of consciousness. And that consciousness comes from where? That is called Tathagat Garbha. And according to Mahayana, we have different consciousness, right? Consciousness is called Vijnana or Vijnana. And we have 5 Vijnanas here in the 5 senses. Suppose eye consciousness. So these corporal eyes do not have capacity to, see only. If these eyes had capacity to see the things, then a dead eye could also see that. So only living body can see. And who sees through eyes is someone inside. And what is that called by Buddhas? That is called Vijnana, consciousness in English. So this is consciousness which sees, which hears, which tastes, which smells, which feels sensation or touches. This is consciousness. So these are 5 consciousness, and 6th consciousness is mind. That is mind. So mind is beyond these 5 consciousness. And that mind is individual mind, is also called discriminative mind, which discriminates. It's called Sangya, which discriminates what is this. This is male, this is female, this is mountain, this is water, this is fire. All these things of the existence or anything what you perceive that happens through what you call perception faculty of your being, right? And this is called discrimination also, discrimination or perception. So there are 5 groups in you. One is called corporal part, sensation is called Vedana, Roop is this roop, your corporal part, whether brain, eyes, all these are parts of this corporal body, physical body. So these senses are in physical body. And these physical sensations or physical senses work in presence of Vijnana, consciousness. Which consciousness? Mind consciousness. And this mind faculty has discrimination power, Sangya, to perceive what is that. So, Roop, Vedana, Sangya. And that forms samskara. Samskara is habit pattern, means you have awareness of male or female. This comes from samskara, and that forms samskara. That is why you have samskara to cover your body as a female, as a male also. We cover the private parts. This is our samskara. And if we'll keep naked, then we will feel awkward. If we'll see any naked person, why? Because of our samskara. We want to see with having fabrics over the body. We have this samskara in human being all, but in animals they don't have this samskara of wearing clothes or samskara of what you call good samskara or bad samskara. These are the actually habit patterns. Like animals can excrete anywhere. Animals can urinate anywhere. Animals don't have this samskara, but human beings have samskara. Samskara of any samskara. Your body has samskara. Your eyes have samskara, means habit, nature. Samskara means nature. So samskara is also faculty. So eyes have samskara to see, ear to listen. And you develop samskara, means you want to only hear the music, good music, soothing music. So you have developed samskara of your ears to listen only Western music or Eastern music or classical music. Some people have samskara to listen only classical music, not modern, not hip hop or pop music. So you develop samskara. How? By your liking and disliking. You like and dislike. This is also faculty in your mind. Actually, mind uses the brain part, but this is basically mind which operates based on samskara also. And there is one more thing that is called Vijnana. So samskara gives birth to Vijnana also, consciousness. So that type of consciousness you have. Like if you have samskara of female, then you have female consciousness. If you have samskara of male, I have male consciousness. Samskara of a monk has different samskara. Household people have different samskara. And in household people also who work as politicians, they have different samskara. Who work as businessman or woman, they have different samskara. So samskara develops consciousness also. That kind of consciousness. Money consciousness. If you are in business, then you have money consciousness. If you are in spirituality, then you have a spiritual consciousness. You have different consciousness. So individual consciousness, or this is called mind, discriminative mind or individual consciousness. So this is 6th consciousness. And 7th consciousness is called intuitive consciousness, intuition. Or you can also call it ego-based consciousness. So mind consciousness of discernment that this is right, this is wrong. This faculty is everywhere, in everyone, in you, in me, in everyone. But the intuitive consciousness about towards the truth, towards the ultimate truth is same for in everyone. That is beyond discriminative consciousness, which is born of samskara. That is different. And beyond that is Tathagat Garbha. That is called Alaya Vijñāna.